on Tuesday. So again, I'm just going to hit it high level as far as project deliverables, the XML files, model files, spreadsheets, clean, repeatable, consumable. I think everybody's heard me say that about a dozen times now. Kind of what you see on the screen are some projects that we've done, that we've worked with, where everything you see in there is actually has been the model, surfaces, anything that we have on there have also been deliverables to the contractor. So with that said, when we say deliverables to the contractor and model electronic digital deliverables, a lot of people start to get nervous. It's not that we're saying, okay, we're giving the whole model, okay, contractor, you can use everything. There's a whole lot of information that goes into that. For instance, we may end up saying, okay, we've done the earthwork, we've modeled in the earthwork, we've checked it this time, that time, and every other time. Okay, we're going to submit that as a deliverable to the contractor. You can use the earthwork for construction. Maybe that's something. We're still not at that point. We're still working towards that point. Right now, everything is for information only. But as everybody knows, we give the plans, the specs, those govern, right? The specs first, then plans. That's what governs the contract documents currently. We also provide those digital deliverables, and I think Tuya and I had discussed it a little bit, but as far as the 102 spec and identifying what those deliverables can be, again, for information only. So there are things that we're providing for information only because we do know that the contractor is trying to utilize some of those things. Again, which kind of goes through of how we create our XML files, our model files. What model files are we giving? What terrain files are we giving? Making sure that those files again are clean, the same, repeatable and consumable. Consumable, I mean that they're files that the contractor can easily take and utilize. So that's really what those things mean. And again, digital deliverables are also our electronic digitals are our plans and specs. They're PDFs. We're submitting those. Same thing with spreadsheets. If we're submitting spreadsheets for point controls, different things like that. So right now, today, we are submitting model and electronic digital deliverables. The model more on the side of for information only, but we do have that information. So what we'll go through really on Tuesday is going to be like the XML files, how we're creating XML files, how we're checking those. Same thing with model files and how we're looking at model files, how we are updating those as well. What XML files are we submitting out? So like geometries, horizontal, verticals, we can XML those out. Those are XML files. They have data. It's the same data that we have, but how do we check, make sure, run the reports, all those different things. To what level is the, are we comfortable sending those things as a deliverable that's not for information only? And those are part of the discussions as we move forward. But again, I don't want the digital deliverables to make anyone nervous, scare people off. We are already, for the most part, doing a lot of this. It's just more having those best practices and having that consistency on how we're doing things and the output. What is the output? How are we delivering that? That's really what this all kind of is going to boil down to. So it's not to create extra work for people. Again, and we'll touch on it we'll touch on it in the plan production on Tuesday as well. But it's to get the idea wrapped around to where we can spend more time on our design intent and modeling of our files. That is still the output for our plan production, but spending more time on those things versus trying to label a whole bunch of labeling everything, when we can take care of that through design elements, through tabulations, through quantities, things like that. So that's really kind of the high overview of the model and electronic digital deliverables and where we're trying to get to. So again, what you see on the screen, I mean, those are current things that we've produced, you know, in the past. And we've even had, I worked on a project in Region 3 8 years ago now using SS2. And we even had at that point where we had digital deliverables, model deliverables, they were FIO, but we utilized the feature lines from the model for the plan sheets and had that derivative. So it's been around for a while. Everybody's been doing a lot of this already. It's just us doing it, you know, a little bit differently, that the software is a little bit different than it was before. And just kind of, you know, we all want to keep improving on what we do. And those are the things that we're trying to do. Again, it's not, this is just a CDOT thing. This is an industry thing. There's, you know, already over half of the, I think it's over half of the states now are starting to utilize a lot more of the digital deliverable mechanisms, and, you know, all the way from for information only clear to model as a legal document. And again, model as a legal document, okay, to what extent? And I think Mark asked that question before too. Has there been one that's been full? I think there's been like a couple, 3 that are okay, take the whole model, but not very many. It's pretty much you know, let's test out different pieces. Are they working? Okay, let's keep moving. So with that said, I think that's really kind of all I want to cover. I don't want to get too deep into the model electronic digital deliverables on showing different things. We'll do that on Tuesday, but this is more of a higher overview of kind of what's to come and how we're moving forward with